Flomashkaram and Flomaste. I am Uncle Makara. All relations. Let's get started with today's transmission. Today's transmission is going to be all about the revelations that are coming through in June. June is a very, very important month for us as we shift into a glimpse of a golden timeline. Should I get my golden timeline cards? I probably should. All right. Let's see what Spirit has to tell us today. Okay. Family relationships. Attune heart to heart. Have a conversation with your mom, with your dad, with your uncles, someone in your family. They need it now a lot, your help. Okay. Second thing for the golden timeline for us adepts would be a blueprint for 5D humanity. Remember your gifts and powers. This is the time where we're starting to access our powers again. Okay. And it's all coming through into this new timeline. Okay. Last one. Let's make it a good one. For all adepts or ninja watchers of Primal Sutra, what can they get away from the greatest timeline shift ever for themselves? What is the theme that they finally need to embody? Okay. Embracing fifth dimensional society. Okay. So it's community life. So community, family, and a blueprint for 5D humanity is very relevant. I also, this one kind of flipped out of the deck too, which is leadership and decisions. Make choices for the highest good of all. Okay? Make choices for the highest good of all. I got these little dowsing rod things. Let's ask them a few questions. Are we multidimensional beings? Yes. Okay. Is June going to be an incredible portal for us as Primal Sutra adepts? Yes. Okay. Will we create a greater impact for our health? No. Will we create a greater impact for our wealth? No. Will we create a greater impact for our relationships? Yes. Will we make a greater impact for our spirituality? It depends, right? It depends. It depends on, yeah, it depends on the practices that we follow. Got it, got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's very important that as you do this practice, you embody gratitude. That's what's going to truly help. We've likely been closing old chapters, correct? Yep. And there's a kind of voice phase, like a void phase that can feel very empty for us, even sometimes depressing for a lot of us. Yes. And this month strings together different glimpses, right? Small intuitive hits, synchronicities, subtle excitements. Yes. Okay. And we are trusting depth more now. Yes. Okay. Cool. Thank you guys for experimenting with me with these. Let's tap in. I'm just going to share this with the tribe. I think this is going to be a good one. All right. Tapped in. Let's win. Tapped in. Let's win. As we continue to win every single millisecond. Yeah, yeah. All right. So what is the energy update for this month, guys, for Adepts of Primal Sutra? You know, we're getting glimpses of the next big thing, essentially, right? This is what I've understood. This is what a lot of us have understood. You've been closing different chapters, and you got to trust your soul nudges right now because early awakenings can be very inflated. Visions, dreams, cosmic highs, but often ungrounded. So this is why this month, humble reconnection with the beginner's mind, with the Shoshin mindset, okay? Long game practices, something that you can continue for not just this month, but also into July, right? And if you're watching from a different timeline, like you're watching from, let's say, a future timeline to now, you will still get value from this video as you start to understand this is a portal for you for depth over hype. Okay? Depth over hype is the theme where grounded spirituality, the primal spirituality, finally returns on planet Earth. And finally, we're getting the recognition that we deserve. People are starting to wake up. People are starting to understand. People are starting to get activated and find this channel in their algorithm. Okay? So it's okay to realize how far you still have to go. That's the true path of the adept. You won't feel like doing the thing. That's the point. You got to force yourself out of comfort. Comfort zones are familiar loops, which is a quiet suffering, which leads to more spiritual stagnation. So I like to be a little bit at my edge every day, like very slightly at my edge every day, so that I can expand that energy outwards, right? Not recoil back into myself so much where I start feeling like a snail or a slug, right? That is not my purpose. I'm here to be like Charizard in this bitch, right? So you're being called to act as if you're already the upgraded version of yourself. So use discipline, not or blisscipline in this case, not motivation. Show up even scared. You know, repetition is going to create your identity over and over. It's going to refine it further and further, right? So you will suck it first, but you keep showing up, then you become it. It's with any skill, right? It's with anything. That's what we do. Tapped in. What's up, Samba? If you have any questions, brother, about this month, particularly, I'm just transmitting what the Nexus has to say about this month. Let's tap in. So you're not waiting on a miracle. They're saying the miracle is who you become when you choose to act beyond who you've been. Oof. Am I willing to act beyond who I have been so far? That's a really good question. That's a really, really good question. You know, I also got a very interesting download from SLW as he sent me this Shunyamurti video. Shunyamurti, one of the greatest, okay? He really knows how to put the concepts all together very succinctly. I really like that. It's a very powerful thing that he's doing. So the Nexus was saying Eros is generative, loving force, Ananda, Anando, right? In Bengali. Thanatos from Thanos, right? Thanatos is like the death drive, the egoic shutdown, or the mystic surrender, okay? So we teach this via polarity. At least I learned this polarity through my sacral chakra, which is associated with the Makara energy. It recently got updated. It used to be Shikamadeva's energy, but then it transformed into the Makara as he became the main gatekeeper for my sacral chakra. And now there is also Bhairava's energy. So Bhairava is the fierce form of Shiva. Okay, so the Makara as the Eros current and Bhairava as the Thanatos principle, ego, death, silent, spiritual fire. And together they train the flow state warrior, actually, or they train the flow state warrior within me, the archetype. So I understood they're not at war with each other. They're like, in a sense, Bhairava can use the Makara as a mount to move, right? But it's not a war, it's a dance. And Primal Sutra basically teaches you to lead it, in a sense. And in that video, Shunyamurti was also saying that superego is like an internalized enemy construct, right? He said you're still dependent on it. Ego versus superego becomes a war, right? The child is enslaved to the inner parent. So this echoes with our Reichian character structure approach. The inner war is not your flaw, it's your initiation. Every bad parent internalized becomes a spiritual entity. You either collapse, you either bind, or you integrate through breath movement and energetic recognition. Okay? Your personal brand of yoga. How do you merge into that oneness for yourself? Right here, we don't just do inner child work, we're doing timeline engineering, right? The spirituality is just consciousness engineering, if you really understand it, right? So anyway, back to the topic of the downloads for Jumanji, June. And if you want to stop negative thoughts, right? The first technique is to stop dancing with the demons. Stop engaging with the damn negativity. Just cut the cord. Don't talk about it. Don't think around it, right? Don't even tweet it like a crusty aura, right? The more you resist it, the more it bench presses in your subconscious gym. So what you focus on, it feeds, right? So you got to treat that negativity right now this month like it's your ex's number. Delete, forget, transcend, right? You don't kill it with force, you starve it with disinterest. What's up, SLW? Chilling like a jaguar after a kill, brother. Resting, resetting, ritualizing our chill, you know, that's another way to get rid of these negative thoughts, right? Not the fake scrolling rest. I don't call that a rest, right? Because it's still I'm over occupying my mind. I'm talking about lion level stillness, right? You pick the lion as your totem, right? SLW. So treat yourself like royalty, man. Eat like a god, right? Laugh like a lunatic sage. Nap like you're just merging with the cosmos every night. You don't solve problems from a stress state. You got to recalibrate. Peace is a sacred dominance. It's not passive. Don't think that it's passive. Okay? If you've got stuck chi, you've got to shake that shit loose. Whether you rebound, you box the void, you breathe it in, and you see the matrix go, you just got to move. You just got to move, right? Move with it. Energy in motion. Your body is the wand, and your breath is the spell. Meditation isn't just for monk mode, right? It's a shadow assassination. You ain't trying to stop your thoughts. You're tuning your channel back to soul frequency. So your reality isn't separate from you. You're not reacting to the world, right? And if you do all these, you're not just clearing your negative thoughts, you're shifting out of timelines into newer ones. You're walking like a thunderclap in a quiet village. Yo, the thunder last night, it was absolutely unstoppable. It was incredible to witness. There were sparkles in the sky. Last night, some trippy shit happened, guys. Okay, story time from Uncle Makara. It was so stormy that there's water coming in through my balcony, right, into my room. And I look outside and there's this like a fast bullet-like bat thing, right? That just zipped past me, right? I tried not to get wet in the rain and so forth because I was like, I usually have scarves and so I was like trying to put the scarf over my head as I was coming from downstairs. And then I started to look at the sky, and the sky was showing upward spirals, guys. I'm not fucking joking either. This sounds so fucking Looney Tunes to somebody who's just watching this for the first time. But we understand that this kind of stuff is so normalized, right? It's so normalized. Like the sky had shown upward spiral patterns, like a Nautilus shell type of vibe, right? And I was going, man, this is my life now, you know? So again, if you do all three, you move your temple, you chill like a jaguar, and you stop dancing with your negativity, you'll start to notice this incredible energy. Samba says Emily was on a mountain and her hair was standing up, and there was electric static, the storm energy. Oh my goodness, bro. Like, I think there is something happening with that because I've been saying Vajra and lightning for years, but I think there was once this Bengali story Dr. Calculus and the something. What was it? Oh man. It was about the movie The City of Gold, which is why I'm reminded of it. Um, Wait, let me see if I can find it, bro. The movie is in Bengali, so you're gonna have to watch it with subtitles, but it's like um what is it called? It's called The City of Gold. Okay. The movie is actually called The City of Gold. If Ellie's here, Ellie, we gotta watch this. Okay. Just look up Bengali movie City of Gold. Okay. Jonathan Davenport goes to a Peruvian Amazon, goes to the Peruvian Amazon in pursuit of a reclusive artist living in rebel occupation. Okay. Check this shit out. Yeah, it's I've never seen Bengali movies like this, bro. It's so lit because he has his like weird kooky like laboratory or whatever, and it's actually amazing. I don't know where you can find it, but yeah. Yo, it's gonna be incredible, man. See if you can find it with subtitles. Yeah, awesome. So anyway, guys, like as I was saying, just do all these three and you start shifting timelines, right? This is Jumanji June, and we don't fight thoughts, we reprogram the matrix, right? So we stay primal, we stay sovereign, we stay dangerous, okay? And we're about to dissect your overthinking like a Greek tragedy inside of a broken IMAX theater, essentially, okay? So let me get something very clear for you. This month, there's going to be a lot of rumination, a lot of overthinking thoughts. And there's a reason for that. It's because all the repressed stuff is now coming up to the surface. It's bubbling up, right, to the surface. So rumination is that obsessive monologue in your brain's black box theater. And it's just like to stress or not to stress, right? Like, bro, the director in your movie is like drunk on cortisol, and the audience is like your anxious inner child, and the spotlight is the one that's stuck on that damn thought, right? I think this through the lens of theater, right? The scene is you're waiting for a job callback and you're replaying that one convo in 2017 and you're staring at the ceiling like it's gonna, spell out your destiny. But a lot of the times people are rehearsing disasters in their mind. They're in rehearsal, right? Thinking that this is what's going to happen in the movie. And it ends up happening, okay? Because they're feeding it. And your brain, it's like, it's treating it like a Netflix limited series, except there's nothing limited about it. Your brain is limitless. I truly believe this. We still have to figure this thing out. We still haven't gotten to any conclusions. We barely scratched the surface on what is consciousness, what is the brain, right? So your mind is like a crowded theater. Imagine your brain is like a stage crew, right? You got finite lighting, props, actors, sound design, all working behind the scenes. And then in comes the rumination, like that diva actor that you hired. She just storms in, she hogs the stage, and she won't let anybody else perform until she has her bagel, right? And you're like, chill out, Karen. Like, throw on some relaxing music, right? But that's like playing lo-fi beats while King Lear screams about betrayal. It's useless. When you do nothing, when you just sit there trying to relax, you hand the whole production budget to the doom narrator in your skull. And guess what? He directs the whole damn show then. So your brain is like a mental canvas. And if you don't paint it with intent, rumination fills in the blanks, like emotional graffiti, right? Like they just vandalized your mindset, right? It's like, yo, right? Just like that spray foam in the hardware store. Whatever space you leave open, it fills it, right? That job you didn't get yet, the person who didn't text you back yet, the mistake that you made in 8th grade, right? It's a full page spread in the front of your psychic newspaper. So you can't stop your brain from running, but you can make it run somewhere useful, correct? You can give it a mission, not a map. Okay. So what do? Get theatrical, write a new monologue, right? Create, speak, draw, move, embody a new character. You're not in the victim of Act One, Scene One anymore, bro, right? You're the playwright of Act Infinity. So something that grabs your attention, like a standing ovation, right? Think about what does that to you. High stimulating environments. Read thrilling fiction, build IKEA furniture, start an absurd art project, clean your room like it's a sacred ritual, right? Use movement like choreography. Your body is part of the scene too, right? So you gotta lift, you dance, you jump, you rebound, you get it in the net, whatever puts your energy into motion, because a distracted brain is a contained brain, and a contained brain becomes a trained brain. Hallelujah. If you don't hand it a coloring book, it's going to decorate your trauma all over the damn walls. You can't stop it from having energy. You can just guide where that energy goes. So don't let your inner toddler run your internal cinema pattern. Give it a role, give it a mission, give it a drum, give it a toy, give it a sword, or a damn broom if needed, and direct that fire somewhere. Direct your inner primal fire somewhere. It's got to go somewhere. Everybody has their, you know, pick your poison, right? Everybody has that. Something that they use to tap in. It's a ritual of engagement, right? Doing nothing when you're anxious is like giving your mic to the panic gremlin and you're telling it to freestyle for an hour. Don't. You command the stage. You rewrite the script. Panic attack. This is a wake-up call from my body. Let's shake this out. Let's go with it or something, right? That's way better than just being separate from it, trying to anxiously contain yourself in the corner of the room, curling up into a ball as you did when you were a kid, right? That's not going to work anymore because you're the new director of this thing. Welcome back to the show. This is Primal Sutra Theater, right? And you just remembered. You're not the actor. You're the god behind the curtain. You're the goddess behind the curtain. The river is rushing. You are the boat and the current. What's up, Mathis? Helios gang. Too fast and you lose your footing. Too slow and you miss the wave. Prescription from the God realm? Don't chase the storm. Plant one task. One small ritual. Sweep the floor like it's a prayer. Water the plants like they are gods. Anchor yourself in the mundane to channel the miraculous. The spiral returns. Circular healing. It's not to punish you, it's to polish you. Old wounds show up dressed as new clothes. You're not backsliding. Don't call it that. You're not backsliding. You are orbiting the wound with a new perspective, a new light. Your trauma that you thought you buried, it keeps knocking again, not to hurt you, but to make you bloom, to let it out, to let it move through your field of your breath. You're not here to repeat the lesson. You're here to alchemize it. The soul doesn't heal in lines. It heals in spirals. It echoes. It's a sacred deja vu. Every single time you come back to the same point from a different lens, a different pair of eyes. Have you ever tried reading a book, right? That you read years later, right? Years later, you read this book, but you read this in like childhood and you didn't get a single thing, right? But now you have like a different mental bandwidth. You have a different understanding. You have all these different gnosis and life experience, right? So the mental swirls are meant to break you into a breakthrough. The mind is not your master. It is your overzealous actor improvising lines it forgot wasn't real. So if your thoughts are swirling, you just got to know this. You are nearing a breakthrough. Confusion is the contraction before insight. And sometimes it's not anxiety. It's actually your third eye is being born. You got to let the storm pass through, dance with it, breathe with it, laugh with it. You are not your mind. You are the watcher, the weaver, and the one behind the curtain. Okay? So, can you breathe in beauty when the world is burning? Can you inhale your joy without any guilt? Can you exhale your grief without any shame? Your breath is the drumbeat of the cosmos inside you. And once you regulate it, you reclaim the rhythm of your own myth, your own lore that you're telling yourself. So fear used to be the shepherd. Now it's the hollow echo in the temple of a dying paradigm. This month, this is what we're beginning to understand. You are no longer infected by division, drama, or delusion because your heart has grown antibodies made of love, kindness, and radiant realness. You're not here to argue with people anymore. You're here to embody the new world, as we've learned through these cards that we pulled in the beginning of this, okay? Go back and watch the beginning of this where I pulled the cards, okay? You're not here to argue. You're here to embody the new world. So let your softness become your sacred fire and your truth be the cure to that. The mainstream matrix is cracking right now. The spell of fear is breaking, right? People are waking up. We're discerning. We're disciplining our minds again. Is this fear mine or was it broadcasted to me? The gods will not evolve the world for you. They will give you a spine, a song. They gave you your inner authority. Now you better use it, right? Some doors slam, others dissolve. Don't cling, don't mourn. When something exits, it's not death. It's a sacred recoiling. It's a sacred casting call for your next evolution. Let the endings compost. Let the new self germinate. You are not stuck. You are shedding. Joy is not this naive thing, right? People think the joy is like this naive thing. It's warrior medicine, man. Right? What remains, what's returning, even if it's a whisper, you enjoy it until it becomes a roar. It's not denial joy, it's the antidote. And when we act from joy together, we will resurrect the lost worlds. You were not born for just this timeline. You chose this timeline to bring the drumbeat back, that to show others how to dance in the edge of change. So this June, you got to remember, spiral in peace, breathe like a god, lead with heart, right? A heart that refuses to go numb. Okay? So this energy right now, it feels like a volcano, right? To some people. Whoa, what is this inner eruption? It's not rage, it's realignment happening right now. You're done biting your tongue, right? You're done people pleasing while your soul bleeds. And staying silent becomes more painful than speaking the truth at times. So let the lava rise. Let the throat chakra open. But let it be water by the time that it touches the lips. This isn't about confrontation. It's about no longer self-betraying. If it drains you, it dies. If they don't honor you, they don't get access. This month, your spirit's immune system levels up. Your body will instinctively eject what dishonors your energy. So don't apologize for needing peace. You're upgrading. They can recalibrate or exit. Your dreams aren't, and your desires aren't flaws. They're sacred coordinates from your future self. Right? So you don't worship the outcome, but you start tracking the direction that they point to. You follow the pulse. Okay? Desire at the ego level is bad. We're talking about higher desire. Okay? That's just a reminder that you're not your true self. Well, what if I had everything already that I needed? Boundaries aren't walls, they're light fields. You don't need to teach people a lesson. You need to live your frequency so loud that misalignment melts away. True boundaries don't come from ego or fear. They come from a deep self-honor. No announcements, just embodiment. Unconditional love isn't some poetic Instagram caption. Okay, it starts in the mirror. Can you accept who you are and still choose who you're becoming? More breath, more compassion, less punishment when you get it wrong. Your love expands as your shame dissolves. That's it. These are the codes. Higher love isn't a fairy tale, it's a frequency. You're no longer able to sustain dynamics built on self-abandonment anymore. The job, the lover, the friend, if they can't honor the real you, they go. No drama, no story, just energetic expiration. This isn't logic. This is just cellular recalibration happening in all of our nervous systems as it's choosing truth over and over again. And that's tough when your inner reality shifts and your outer world must follow, right? The new timeline isn't being built by willpower. It's being summoned by who you've become. You know, there's a strawberry moon coming. I'm not too sure when it is, but there's a moon this year. So in this moon, it's a shedding moon, right? Old roles, old offenses, old masks. You got to burn them in a ritual. You got to write the version of yourself you're done carrying and let the moon this month guide that process forward. Throat chakra is the altar, right? Ryan G I think he did a ritual today, yeah, for that. The throat chakra. It's a great idea to do one today, for that specific purpose. Your wants aren't wrong. This moon brings clarity on what's real longing and what's just noise, right? The things that have been haunting your heart, they aren't here to tease you. They're breadcrumbs from your future. You got to follow the ones that feel like freedom, right? So dust your sacred space. I'm going to clean my altar up. The spirit is preparing to receive a new frequency, and clutter, any kind of it, will dilute it. I just know that. I know that subconsciously somewhere. Okay? So sit under the moon and just light 3 flames, 3 candles. Flame 1, what you're releasing. Flame 2, what you're activating. Flame 3, who you're becoming. Releasing, activating, becoming. Past, present, future. Okay? Speak them out loud. Burn the paper. Breathe the ashes. Let the moon etch your prayer into the ethers. Okay? This full moon doesn't coddle you. It's like Parvati's energy, Durga's energy, right? She cleanses, carves, commands, and if you dare to meet just that frequency, that energy, no mask or story, just truth, she will baptize your becoming. I truly believe it because this is a month I honestly think we're finally choosing ourselves. We're finally choosing ourselves first and then taking care of the collective. We're speaking even when the silence poisons, leaving when love requires it, letting go without guilt, celebrating, but not from this whimsical, shock shock factor. We're celebrating without apology 24/7. That's just our natural vibration. Okay. You are the fire and the breath, the storm and the stillness. You are a shaman god in human skin. So let June burn away what you are not. Let what remains be sacred. Okay. My transmission is complete, guys. Let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang. Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, wherever it is you're tuning in from. Let's win. I'll see you at the top.